for tonight. Today is our 22nd reading, so we're on, I believe, chapter 21, which is Bethlehem, Bethlehem. Humans like to say there are only two certainties in life, death and taxes, but they seem much more concerned about taxes and death. I still haven't figured that one out from St. Is. We left in the dark hours of the morning for Bethlehem. Rome decided in typical Roman fashion that all the world should be taxed. All the world. Truly, they meant all the empire should be taxed, but like all empires, Rome misconstrued that the future held their way of doing things as a matter of common sense to everybody everywhere. Many of those human beings in togas hadn't seen the lands I've seen. Even people clad in metal and cured skin of animals hadn't gone to the edges of the earth as this little donkey has, where people live as they have decided with no thought of Rome whatsoever. And many thrive. However, that didn't matter to Mary and Joe. Joe had to register so he could be taxed according to his birthplace and according to how many people lived in his household. And animals, too. Emperor Augustus had changed everything along the line of taxes. It was better than before, but taxes, taxes. The hours I've been forced to listen to human beings complaining about taxes. Nevertheless, the road welcomed us again. The same road leading from Nazareth to Jerusalem. The same twists and turns. The same potential for thieves and hijackers, pickpockets, and ruffians looking for conflict. Are you sure there's room at your father's house? Mary asked the night before we were to arrive in Bethlehem. Well, I don't know for sure in the sense of a promise, Mary, but I am confident as I can be, having sent a message you're coming along. We slept close, the smell of the harvested barley meeting us like a cherished old friend that never fails to visit once a year. Mary walked much of the journey the next day, unable to comfortably support her spine on my back with the load she carried in her belly. Poor Mary, and human childbearers in general. Their babies rest upon their hips and their other organs, smashing their insides in very strange directions. I don't know how they do this thing. We animals have it so much better. But don't tell the humans that, though. They wouldn't believe it anyway. Bethlehem appeared as darkness fell. A collection of stars in the folds of the night sky lifting to reveal sunset's deep prison behind it. The road dipped toward the city gate. People still streaming in from outside their national providence to be counted by Rome and to declare their wealth. Before now, taxation was done by tax farmers, Republicans, the shadiest bunch of, well, let's say they were experts at extracting money from the living and the dead. We threaded through the gate in a rope of humanity, knots of peoples at the entrance pulled through the needle for a little water, a little food, and a good night's rest. The main street funneled us through the marketplace and past the ancient wells as Joe led us to the house of Jacob, his father, and the city of David, in the land of Judah. Now, Judah, to refresh your memory, was the brother of the famous Joseph who saved the people of Israel from famine. Judah, though, was the brother who sold his brother Joseph, sold his very brother into slavery. Does it get harder hearted? And here we were, entering the territory belonging to Judah's descendants, for God to bring forth the Messiah. Don't tell me the Most High has little appreciation for irony. The Lord specializes in it. But in the case of God, it's called redemption. The kind of redemption so perfect for the transgressions, it can only be the outworking of a creator who perfectly ties things together, not by changing them into something unrecognizable, but by singing them into a love song that never ends, a song that brings the most discordant seeming melodies together into one harmonious tone. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And here we were, bringing together all that was once a mystery to all that can come to be here. The realm of the Christos in this place and time. He is already really safe in the pregnant belly of a young woman from Nazareth, scorned by her parents, wanted by her vengeful brother, but held in the arms of love, not just the love of the Most High, but the love of Joe and a donkey she calls her friend. Just down the lane from the house of Joe's father, Mary slipped down from my back and exclaimed, "Oh dear!" As she landed, heads turned, but Joe dipped his by hers. "Are you all right?" "My waters, they've released." A stream flowed from under the hem of her gown over the dusty earth beneath my legs and into the roots of a nearby fig tree. "We're almost there, dearest," Joe said, putting his arms around her waist, drawing her body into his. "Lean on me. It won't be much longer." Humans can be so wrong and not even know it. Joseph led us into the family stable 5 minutes later. He spread a fresh bread of straw for both of us. Wait here, Issy. Wait here with Issy, Mary." "Joe," someone yelled, "you're here!" My ears are so valuable to me at times like this. Too bad they're not to anybody else. "Father, I have Mary with me," he said, as he let himself through the stable gate into the house. The evening was bubbling like a good lentil stew, lamps glowing and people catching up. The women were bringing in food from the communal kitchen down the street. The people sat at every available surface along after their long journeys. And the aroma, my goodness. "The guest room is already taken, son," said Jacob, a small man in brown robes, a giant gray beard concealing his chest and stomach. "Your message came too late. You're going to have to stay in the stable. My apologies." "She's in labor, Father." Silence. "Ruth!" his father cried out to Joseph's mother. "We need the stable cleared of everybody. Let them sleep on the floor in here. Mary's going to give birth to our grandchild." "Father, we send Ezekiel to fetch out the midwife," a woman cried, and a general upheaval began, the same upheaval that always begins when humans get ready to enter the world. I stood back up as Joseph's mother and several other women rushed in, ready to assess the situation at hand, and made my way to guard the stable doors. Donkeys have their youngs in stables all the time, but humans, well, I'm sure it's happened before, but I have yet to see it. Ruth leaned down and laid a hand on Mary's head. "The midwife is coming, but in the meantime, we will get you comfortable." "Ma'am, I need..." "Shh, dear, a baby's coming." "All is well." "But..." "There's always time for talk, daughter. But now is the time for action, and I will tell you this. I believe God brought you and this child to us, just like he gave us Joe." "Thank you," whispered Mary. "The Lord's mercies are new every morning, child." I watched people milling down the lane, those gathering for the census and the festival which was set to begin the next day, the Feast of Tabernacles, as humans called it, which involved setting up temporary structures and celebrating the harvest, had brought many to the vicinity of Jerusalem. If everything went smoothly, the family would introduce its newest member the very first day of Sukkot, the first of the 2 all-out festival days. Donkeys love festival days. A day off for most of the family beasts, a little more food, rest, and plenty of rolling around is one of the practical reasons I like sojourning in Israel. The harvest is in, everybody. The bread of the living is coming. The wine of God's love is getting ready to flow all over this land. The shelter of the Most High, the abiding place of the Almighty One, is here. The ever-present tabernacle, come to welcome wandering hearts as creation opens up this very night to welcome its Creator, face to face. The night lengthened as time between Mary's labor pains shortened. The men were all gone, women and beasts. You see, the lowly ones, well, we welcome the King of Kings. And do you know why? We are downcast enough to recognize the pure bravery a human exhibits, and merely being born into this beautiful yet tense, glorious yet weighted world. Oh Jesus, come, come, come quickly, come for good. Hope you guys enjoyed our reading from St. Ides tonight. Have a good evening.